and thank you for joining me here today. I am Corporal Mark Biskup of the Ocampo Police Department, and I'm here today to talk to you about the dangers of smoking cigarettes and the dangers of vaping. To get started with, it's estimated that for every cigarette you smoke, it reduces your expected lifespan by 11 minutes. There are dangers in smoking a cigarette. Cigarettes have a lot of dangerous chemicals in them, and here are just a few of them that we're going to talk about. One, it's been reported that nicotine, which is the addicting part of a cigarette, has also been found in bug spray that's been used to kill insects. Second one we'll talk about is that there are trace amounts of ammonia in cigarettes. It's been reported, and that chemical can be found in toilet cleaner, a very powerful chemical that's used to clean commodes and bathtubs. Third one we'll talk about is there are trace amounts of arsenic that's been reported in cigarettes. The danger of that is arsenic can be used as a poison, used to kill rats and mice and other things. Here's a look at smoker lungs and non-smoker lungs. Smoking is directly responsible for approximately 90% of lung cancer deaths. Which lung is from the smoker? This one here is from the smoker. This one here is a non-smoker. Over here, this is the x-ray of a set of lungs from a smoker. This dark colored picture here, well, that is the contaminated lung of a smoker. And over here, you see this one, those are healthy lungs, nice, pretty, and pink. Those are healthy lungs, or non-smoker lungs. And over here, the dark coloration in these lungs, it indicates that it is smoker lungs. All right, now we're going to touch on vaping. First off, to be in possession of e-cigarettes or vape pens or even any tobacco product, now in the state of Texas, no one under the age of 21 can be in possession of any tobacco product or e-cigarettes unless you're in the active military. If you're in active military, then when you're at the age of 18, you can be in possession of these items. But if you're not in active military, you must wait till you're the age of 21 to be in possession of them. If you get caught with them, it's a ticket for minor possession of tobacco products and a $500 fine to maximum. Here's some dangers about vaping. First, it can cause a disorder called popcorn lung disease. Over here, see this person using a vape pen. What it does, it creates mucus within the lungs, the lining of the lungs. And when it does that, it gets inflamed and it causes these tubes, airway tubes, to become closed very tightly, unlike this one over here. This person here had not been using a vape pen. You see how nice and big and the diameter of that wall is? Allows a lot of air to flow in and out. But when you have popcorn lung disease, it creates all the mucus and it shrinks the size of that hole to this very tiny hole. And what that causes is that you now struggle to walk or even run without having adequate amount of oxygen in your body or in your lungs. And so for that, it is advised highly not to do vape pens or e-cigarettes for this very reason here, because the only way you can get the amount of oxygen that you need is through an oxygen tank. So even at a very young age, you may have to walk around with an oxygen tank because you develop popcorn lung disease. The second danger with vape pens is that there's been reported cases of them exploding. What happens is that they have a battery in them, a lithium battery. It has alternating layers of positive and negative electrodes, which you see here in the blue, are separated by porous film, which is the gray portion you see, and it's soaked in flammable liquid electrolytes. Overcharged batteries heat the electrolytes to their boiling point, creating a very high pressure inside the battery casing. The seals at the end of the casings rupture, releasing the flammable substance, creating a small explosion. Now imagine that explosion while it's in your hand or in your mouth. When these things go off, it creates incredible amount of damage. Reports are that people lose their teeth, they damage their tongue, or they lose a portion of their tongue. They blow a hole out in the side of their cheek. So basically, to recover from that, you're looking at probably about a year to a year and a half of having your jaw wired shut and being on a liquid diet, because with all the surgeries that you'll have to have, it takes quite a while for the body to heal from that. And this is an e-cigarette in the beginning stages of an explosion. And this is the mouthpiece. This is where your mouth would go. And it typically happens within 1 to 2 seconds when it's all over and done with. So it's very quick and very powerful. This poor lady was in a dressing room spraying hairspray on her hair when her vape pen exploded in her mouth. The results of that was she lost a good portion of her hair, received first, second, and third degree burns. Pretty tragic event. It did not kill her, but she sustained major injuries from it. And sadly, I can report that vape pens have killed people. A young man up in Dallas died when his vape pen exploded in his mouth and the metal fragments fragmented into his brain. Probably the mouthpiece or the casings, which you see here. And then a man in Florida died, the same thing, when his vape pen blew up into his mouth and it fragmented into his brain and killed him. So I can report that vape pens can kill from the minor explosion that takes place. But just don't take the word minor too lightly on this, because I would imagine probably putting 10 firecrackers in your mouth and lighting it and then having that go off. You understand the dangers of that. So, to conclude with, there's no reason on this earth to smoke or to use vape pens, in my opinion. They are both very dangerous. One can kill you over a long period of time, and one can kill you quite quickly. But the thing to remember is that you only have one set of lungs. Only one set. And you damage those lungs when you smoke cigarettes, smoke cigars, or vape. Okay, when you go to the doctor and the doctor says, well, your lungs now have this because you did that, smoking or vaping, the doctor's not going to hand you a magic pill and you'll be healed. That's not how it works. And if it's too severe, you may have to be put on a lung transplant list. And that is a very long list. Okay? So, what can you do to avoid those situations? Don't vape and don't smoke cigarettes. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me here today. Have a nice day.